Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming on this beautiful day. First, I'd like to hope you're all as excited as I am to celebrate this. It's been a long time coming, but I think it makes the victory twice as sweet. So let's give it up to our attendees, our graduates. Thank you so much. They've truly been victors of the pandemic. I'd like to give one big shout out, and I hope we get a big round of applause for Dr. Zieger, who is the mastermind of this whole thing. I honestly have to say, she could not put more care into this if it was her own children graduating. So you have to see, I mean, she was practically putting up the tent poles yesterday. So she's done every detail over the last 6 months for this. So thank you so much. One word I'd like to say is that all of our graduates of 2020 and 2021, more than ever, are real pioneers. And you've learned via distance, and you've taught, and you've designed things via distance. So you've conquered space, the space between learners. You researched emerging technologies, so you've conquered time. You look into the future and come back. But I think the true pioneering spirit you all have is that you conquer ideas. You go into one room, open the door to another room, open the door to another room, then you come back and you share and you report back on what the future holds and what the future of ideas holds. And I'd like to say one thing, that type of journey, that adventure, can be kind of a lonely place, right? You're a solo artist doing that. But at NJCU EdTech, you always have a home, a family, a community, always to come back to. So thank you so much, and it's my pleasure to introduce our president, a great leader, a great visionary, someone who I've been honored to work with over the last 9 years, and Senate President over the last 4 years, Dr. Sue Henderson.
Thank you so much. I want to start by just telling you congratulations. Let's take a round of applause for all the hard work. Now, I'm not going to steal the thunder of my dean, but she's going to share with you what an elite group you are. Those of you who have aspired and conquered and achieved a doctoral degree. There's very few people in the country that achieve that. But here's another thing that's very, very special about you and about the team that you are part of. You're part of a remarkable department whose work, along with your work, is changing the field that you're studying. So I look forward to seeing you out there as leaders, helping to move EdTech along, because it's the future, and this past year and a half really showed it. You've worked hard, you've persevered in a really difficult year, and you've learned how to be resilient. More resilient than you probably thought you could be. For those of you who are new to our program that are here today, welcome. I would let you know that, just as Chris said, you're part of a family, that we hope that you will stay in touch with us after you graduate, after you leave us. And for those of you in the process, rely on the graduates, rely on your faculty, because you're part of fantastic programming. Every year it gets better. This is a supportive and challenging environment, and it's going to help all of us grow and be better. For those of you graduating, you're the leaders in this field, and you have much to contribute, and I want to thank you for that. I just got back from visiting a school in Egypt. They are just figuring out how to do EdTech. We could be leaders in that. There's so many opportunities for us because of the wonderful things that our faculty do and the wonderful things that you do out in the field. I want to thank your faculty and staff and ask them, please, to stand now so that we can thank them for their work. Again, stay in touch. You're part of a family. We look forward to seeing you back again for alumni events. Come back to alumni events that EdTech does. Thank you again for your hard work.
Thank you, President Henderson. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce our Provost, Dr. Tamara Joshi. Before I worked at NJCU, I didn't really know what a Provost did. And then I learned it sort of in theory, but the Provost is, to my mind, the academic, intellectual, and scholarly leader of the faculty and university. But then when Dr. Joshi came, it really brought it home. I truly knew what a Provost does watching her work. So, Dr. Joshi, please take the stand.
Thank you so much, Dr. Schomburg. Well, good morning, graduates, alumni, family, friends, and dear faculty colleagues. It is an honor to celebrate with you today, as this day surely marks a milestone in your professional lives. I want to congratulate you on the achievement of earning your doctorate in education. You will remember this day, and I don't think it will be for the sweltering heat, but for the special moment when the academic community has come together to pay it forward, as they say. You will be hooded today in a time-honored ritual, an academic tradition that goes back to the first universities in Europe in the 12th century. It's a tradition that we continue today with ceremony and solemnity. This rite of passage is revered amongst us. And we treasure it even more because your professors, those who know you, those who have nurtured you, those who have challenged you, and those who have inspired you, will do the honors of hooding each and every one of you. This rite of passage is truly paying it forward. From this day forward, you will be a member of a community of scholars for whom this doctoral hood is a symbol of the commitment to seeking knowledge and truth. We are so excited and we are so proud of you. Your study and practice of educational technology puts you at the forefront of higher education today. It's not news to anyone in attendance how technology has been the driver of innovation in the 21st century. When I think back on my own, what I would call educational technology, back in the day, writing my master's thesis, I'm going to date myself terribly here, on an electronic typewriter with correction tape. So imagine changing all your footnote numbers in your master's thesis with correction tape, and then you had to go through each page and do it over and over again. And then I look at my iPhone, which typically I have in my hand at all times. It's extraordinary to consider this vast change and its implication in education. As specialists in ed tech, you are game changers, continually pushing the envelope to enhance the process of learning. What we likely can't even imagine today will be your reality in the years to come. So what the next decades bring is in your hands. That is an awesome and powerful charge. We congratulate you today and we wish you good luck. And we can't wait to see how you will change the landscape of educational technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Provost Joshi. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce our new dean. She started July 1st, Dr. Donna Brawley. I was on the search committee, and suffice it to say, when we interviewed her, I was like, entire category. She took the cake. Her innovation, her energy, and her kindness came through in that interview, and it's an honor and a pleasure that I get to introduce her right now. So, Dr. Brawley, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much. And good morning. It is wonderful to see you here and to look across the tables at those of you sitting in your regalia and think about what this means to you and what it represents. It is this point in your life where you have achieved something very few ever achieve, as the president noted. You know, in the United States, about 21% of the total population achieve a master's degree, but only about 2% earn a doctorate. So just take a moment to consider the fact that you are now part of this exceptional demographic. On days like today, I cannot help but think about my own doctoral journey. I recall my experience with my comprehensive exams. I remember sitting in a conference room on the 4th floor of a former bank building on Cortlandt Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the conference room for Georgia State University's Department of Educational Policy Studies. I'd had many classes in that room, but for the next 3 days, I would sit alone in that space and write for a total of 16 hours. I'd spent nearly every waking minute that summer preparing for what was to follow those 3 days. My advisor, Dr. Dorothy Hunica, came into the room, and in an effort to try and calm me, she told me a lie. With a wide grin, she exclaimed, "You will never know more than you know right now." I understand why she said it. After all, I spent 6 hours that day writing 2 essays. First, about Jürgen Habermas's theory of communicative action, and then an essay on the history of American education based upon the 4 social forces outlined by Herb Klebar. The next day, I got to spend 5 hours justifying a revised epistemological syllogism based on John Dewey's theory of inquiry. And on day 3, I got to spend 5 hours developing a reconceptualized framework for curriculum theorizing based on both epistemological and axiological dimensions. So yes, on that day, in that room, my head was full of theories, quotes, lines of justification, and of course, the essential citations. Nevertheless, as one of John Dewey's biggest fans, I could not help but be unsettled by her remark. In his book, Democracy in Education, Dewey contends the following: "We have laid it down that the educative process is a continuous process of growth, having as its aim at every stage an added capacity of growth. That point, education leading to greater capacity for growth, it drove my work as a classroom teacher, as a school administrator, and as a doctoral advisor." In his book, Pedagogy of Freedom, Brazilian educator Paulo Freire reminds us that we are unfinished beings. He argues that it is our recognition of that unfinishedness that leads us to build capacity for more growth. I have seen this not only in my own life and work, but also in the lives and work of my former doctoral students. I think about Dr. Matthew Robeson, who as a doctoral student worked with LGBTQIA students in trying to identify safe spaces across campus. He now creates those safe spaces at Gordon State University as their Vice President for Student Affairs. I think about Dr. Claire Miller, who as a student wanted to understand the challenges women faced when trying to become school superintendents. She has since helped many women achieve leadership degrees in their school districts. And last week, she became the president of the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders. So her impact will be seen across the state. I also think about Dr. Danny Fu Elston, who as a doctoral student was passionate about supporting young Black men in college. Now, he is helping change national policies and supporting universities to retain and support first-generation and minority students across the country as the Chief of Staff and the Senior Vice President of Strategy for Complete College America. Each of these former students sat in that same conference room in Atlanta. They sat there for classes in policy and leadership and equity. Each of them sat in there alone to complete their comprehensive exams. And each of them sat there and defended their dissertations and became doctors in that room. But at the point when those hoods were placed on their shoulders, they were and continue to be unfinished beings. And their impact as unfinished beings has been felt in ways they could never imagine. So as you mark this incredible achievement and celebrate your exceptional distinction among the 2% in this nation, I hope you also celebrate your unfinishedness. Know that you will impact the lives of others in ways you cannot fully imagine. And for the rest of your lives, recognize that in the midst of your unfinishedness, you continue to build capacity for even more growth. Thank you.
Well, thank you for those words. Very inspirational. I'm actually a little dumbstruck, so you really caught me off guard. Thanks. The next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Lauren Zieger. I don't think she needs introduction for anyone out there. I think if you're a student of hers, you know her. I see the heads knocking. If you're a relative of a student, especially a spouse, I'm sure you've heard her. And she's been a great friend, a great colleague, a great boss, and a great department chair, and a great human being throughout the last 17 years that I've known her. So thank you, Dr. Zieger, and the mic is yours.
Wow, we made it, yay! It's been a long year and a half, I know for all of you, you've been through a lot. It's, the pandemic not only kept us apart, you know, people say we're an online program, but we're not online, our community is together. We're together a lot of different ways. First thing I would like to say, thank you, Dr. Schamberg, for your kind words. You know, the polls were difficult to get up, but no, honestly, I do want to thank, it isn't just me. Julio has been working tirelessly. You know Julio. And obviously the faculty, our administration, all of you, let's face it, your families really need a round of applause. None of us do this alone, right? We know this. We do this as a community of practice. Without each other, we're not as strong. It's simple. Without having each of us to support each other, we can't move beyond what we already know. So yeah, the faculty have been there for all of you. It's been great, and we loved working with every one of you. But this isn't the end. Actually, is there a cohort 1 person in the house? Raise your hand if you're from cohort 1. Anybody? Cohort 1 here? How about cohort 2? Anybody cohort 2 here? Yeah, cohort 2? All right, cohort 3. Where's cohort 3? Come on, make some noise, cohort 3. Cohort 3 just gives this, you know, wave, because they're alumni now, you know what I'm saying? They're doctors. All right, cohort 4. Anybody cohort 4? Woo! Notice they stay by the air in the back of the room. They're smart. They've got their doctorate. I know this. Cohort 5 in the house. Cohort 5. Cohort 6. I'm afraid to say it. Cohort 7. I know that crazy cohort 7. We know what they are. Cohort 8 in the house. Not to be outdone, cohort 8. Cohort are brand new this month, brand new students, cohort 9. They're hanging with 8, we understand. It's amazing to see so many of you together in one place. All of you, I'm sure, remember that day that you started, right? First, you might have been at the open house once or maybe 3 times, Judith, right? You know, you come to the open house, you learn about the program, and then you say, you know, is this right for me? I don't know. And then the first day you come to the Summer Institute, I get you, and I say, how are you feeling? And every person says, are you crazy? We're nervous as heck. We don't know if we're doing the right thing. Is this going to be too much? Can I do this? And I say one thing to every one of you. This program will change you, right? This program will change you. More than academically, much more. You'll be the smartest you've ever been, definitely. You'll learn more, you'll be a researcher, but more than that, you'll be a leader, right? You'll be a trailblazer. You're going to lead, and now more than ever, this pandemic has really made this program so essential. If we don't have all of you out there in the field, we have no hope. You guys are the leaders. You're the one that's going to change things for the better, for the future, for the kids that are sitting in this room. We need you. So please continue to do the great work that you do. Your families put up with us stealing you away for a lot of years. Sorry, Javier. I'm sorry, Linda's kids. I see you on Facebook still having fun. We're good. But now, you're back with your family and you could still do some great things. And we hope that you'll continue to be a part of our family. Keep in touch with us. Be in our newsletters. We want to celebrate your successes. I love seeing our alumni here. I hope that all of you will continue to stay as part of our family. Congratulations. You earned it. Would cohort 5 members please come up? And what they're going to do, we're going to start with Edith.
All right, we're going to start the calling of the doctoral students, doctoral graduates. First, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Edith Bamba Adewumbi. Dr. Carnahan.
Turn around and face that way. Face that way.
Dr. Karen Lynn Johnson Carter, Dr. Zieger. Dr. Terry Evans, Dr. Zieger. Dr. Adnan Azad, Dr. Ammerman. Dr. Barbara Green McCarty, Dr. Carnahan. Dr. Patrick S. Holnish Jr., who could not be here, Dr. Schamberg. Dr. Douglas John Koch, Dr. Zieger.
Dr. Linda L. Lampert, Dr. Schamberg Chair. Dr. Peter Jude Madaliano, Dr. Schamberg Chair.
Dr. Carol A. Munn, Dr. Zieger, Chair.
Dr. Manuel F. Negron, Dr. Ammerman Chair. Couldn't be with us today, Dr. Denise Tate, Dr. Ammerman Chair. Dr. Susan Von Alstein, Dr. Schamberg Chair. Couldn't be with us today, Dr. Daniel P. Ward, Dr. Carnahan Chair. I present to you the class of 2020, Cohort 5. Cohort, please come to the stage.
Dr. Carnahan, Chair. Dr. Samantha Joan Lana, who couldn't be here, Dr. Zieger, Chair. Dr. Christine Mary and Chair.
Dr. John Richard Jr., Dr. Schamberg Chair. chair could not Dr. Andrea Kristen Gomez, Dr. Conahan Chair, could not be with us. Dr. Justine Kravitz, Dr. Carnahan Chair. Kravitz.
Anthony Mastrandrea. Zieger. And that concludes the voting of Cohort 6.
I present to you the class of 2021.
Thank you so much. And now for our closing remarks, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Carnahan, the co-coordinator of the Doctoral program, a true change agent, a scholar, a friend, the scourge of portfolio reviews. Dr. Carnahan, the mic is yours.
I believe everybody's just cheering because I'm the last one to speak, and then you get to take your regalia off and try to cool down a little bit. Imagine this. If it hadn't been early in the morning, I was going to start off this speech with blowing bubbles. So anybody that's here, you'd be like, why are you going to do that? But I really thought about during the courses over the past week, the students who are still in the program that aren't graduates, or that are cheering so loudly, and asked so many good questions. And one of them was, what happens to all the graduates that leave here? For all those who have come in front of us today and have been recognized, whether they graduate last year, this year, and go forward. I think that using the visualization of bubbles coming out and just going all over are the biggest epitome of what educational technology in this program does. We have people in higher education, whether it be faculty, administration. We have people in administration of K-12 schools. We're have K-12 teachers, people in corporate, through Dr. Zieger, Dr. Schamberg's connections, corporate individuals. This program has resulted in such a growth and dynamic opportunities for the people that go through it. It is unbelievable. Like when you really sit down and think about all the opportunities that come from that, where all of our students land, whether they land in tenure track positions, administration in K-12, you become effective agents of change to steal a little bit from Dr. Schamberg there. Like the change agents that you are just incredible. So it's great to be a faculty member in that. Take this moment. We oftentimes are just sitting on Zoom now for the past few years looking at little captions. This is an opportunity to come back together as a community. You can see the people that came from cohorts before you are still so connected to this program. That should make such a difference for you. That should really show you what this program's about, the connection. And as Dr. Zieger does such a good job when you're reading that Cheese book in summer one, that you've really become a community, and this community is affecting change. So with that, refreshments are open. You can go eat now. So congratulations.